Although,
Yep.
yeah, this is totally triggering me with the Genji play. I can't deal with it.
You can't do. Tell what is it about Genji that just triggers you the most? Like, give us a story while I wait for this.
Well, it's not necessarily a story. It's just that I'm bad at Overwatch. Um, Ultra mobile characters I find to be unfair to play against, but I play like Pharah a lot. So there's a lot of times where I hit like Tracer with 2 rockets, then she rewinds and comes back with 150 health and then kills me. And Genji will shoot a rocket back in my face. It's the ultra mobile characters Pharah really struggles against because I just can't hit them, and then I die to them. And then so to cover up my own ineptitude as an FPS
Mm-hmm.
player, I blame the design and game flaws and that they're unbalanced. So
All right,
does that
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. That now I just feel bad. Like, holy crap! Like,
Can
just
we
put him
just
on blast in front of
really
this. It's
search
just
my
like,
psyche?
it's like the real reason why I hate Genji is because I suck.
I wasn't hugged enough as a child. It's probably where it all goes back to.
Genji's just triggering all these deep emotional things here. But speaking of triggered, the draft has been triggered. G2 now on the clock, going to ban their first map, and man, G2 does not like Volskaya.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask them what it is about that map. It might just be like the map type that they don't like either.
Yeah.
But it is one of those last points that becomes difficult. And if you have heroes who don't really shine in confined spaces, then it's not really a great place to mount your defense.
Certainly.
Nepal comes out as a ban.
Yeah, no Nepal. You know what? I'm okay with that. I think we saw enough of Nepal earlier today. But you're Unite. If they're doing their homework, they know that G2 won on Nepal and even the Nepal map they lost, they played pretty closely. So maybe Unite is just thinking, you know what? G2 is a little bit prepared on that map. We don't have to do it.
Yeah, it appears
At this
Reunited
time.
is not a fan of King of the Hill. Both King of the Hill maps now off the table, banned by Reunited. Hanamura and Amura and Anubis now banned by G2.
Well, actually, we're all payload now. It's only payload maps remaining. All the King of the Hill and Capture Point maps are gone, just one after the other. No one even. The payload maps are an afterthought.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be a preference of what these teams are used to. I mean, the first phase of beta, we saw a ton of payloads, so teams definitely have the practice on these maps. Although we saw some favorites of the King of the Hill earlier, that is not what Reunited GG likes to play on, apparently.
No, definitely not. So we have G2 banning again, and first payload map down is Gibraltar, so Reunite not wanting that. I think Reunite is actually angling for King's Row. I know, I think that was one of their favorite maps before the beta went down, so I would expect I'm guessing the Hollywood ban here. I don't think they liked Hollywood. If they're going to keep it old school, they'll get rid of Hollywood, and that means that they get either King's Row and Numbani, maps that are still like kind of similar in how they're laid out.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they go for King's Row, actually, though. And I'm thinking only like the very first time I saw Reunited, which was then Fnatic against Melty, is when my doubts really started about them because they got wiped up on King's Row by Melty.
Yep, there it is. They took out Hollywood.
Okay.
So, are we going to Numbani or King's Row? But either way, we're seeing a new map, Hex.
King's Row.
King's
no
Row!
goody-goody.
All right. Well, see, we just need Eccentric to get knocked out of the tournament. Rip Eccentric, you guys were awesome. But now we get to see King's Row because you guys were just banning. I mean, maybe they said something against the English. I don't know.
The food's not that great, I guess. Maybe they're culinary aficionados.
Oh.
Are you gonna defend English cuisine?
This is where you stop and think, it's like, what is English? I mean, there's fish and chips.
That's part of the point, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I had no real follow-up to that.
Full English breakfast, I guess you could defend. Always looks good. I see pictures of it on the internet all the time. Apparently, instead of eating a full English breakfast, you just take pictures of it.
English breakfast. All right. That's
Yeah, look it up. It's a thing.
okay. I mean, it sounds like it's a thing.
Regardless of that, King's Row, one of the staples of Overwatch so far, it established itself really early as a map that a lot of teams liked to play on. It has a lot of back and forth. Again, it's one of the essences of map design in Overwatch that each stage kind of feels a little different. You have to switch strategies for each phase. The defining phase of King's Row, in my opinion, is between the first and, I mean, actually the payload section of the map, where you have to go through the streets and the winding. A lot of big plays, and that's where we saw Aerial Barrage become like the ultimate play in Overwatch.
You know what I keep hearing here? Apparently Roadhog is my character, so I just turned the sound back on since we're about to go in the game. I just keep hearing heavy breathing and a chain clinking. And of course, people at home are hearing that. So no, that's not me heavily breathing into the microphone. That's everyone's favorite, the Roadhog.
Yeah, no one really knows what's behind that green screen, do they, ZP?
You know,
Just chains and all sorts of stuff, huh? Never mind. Moving on.
You know what? You just expose that part of my life to everyone.
If we're
and...
gonna delve into the psyche of why I can't play against a Tracer and a Genji, we'll open up the skeletons in your closet as well.
I mean, I'm not sure this is really equivalent, Hex. I don't know.
Yeah, probably not.
All right, so apparently they are... See, now I'm actually paying attention to the sides because I've gotten burned a few times. I've caught every time, but one of these days I'm not going to catch it, and there's going to be an entire stream where the teams are labeled wrongly, and with the delay being... with a 2-minute delay seemingly being like 12 minutes, thank you, Twitch, it would not be caught anywhere near in time. So the teams right now are haggling over what side they're going to pick. Right now, it looks like Fnatic is defending first, but that could very well change. Roadhog, breathing intensifies, man. You can't even hear it, but just like in the background, he is, he might want to get his asthma checked out. Maybe a little bit too much gas.
I mean, he does huff paint in his kit, right? Or gas or whatever that is. He's the Charlie Kelly of Overwatch.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, it looks like they are ready. They're not switching sides. The production part of me taking a deep breath.
Are you sure? Is that you or is that Roadhog?
I mean, at this point,
I can't tell. Where does one end and the other begin?
We might just be one and the same, man. I mean, who really knows what happens when you put on the Roadhog mask and the like white man bun thing he has going on?
Yeah, while we're playing, have you seen that cosplay? It's been on the Reddit. The guy who made the full-on Roadhog. It's pretty good.
I have not.
He spent a lot of time on it, and he made a really.
He had to make. He probably had to make a really gross like belly button to go with it.
I think he has like some sort of T-shirt. I don't think he went in full body modification, but.
Yeah, I mean, I was just imagining like some sort of like fake foam, like skin colored, like gigantic outer belly button to like complete the Roadhog look.
Yeah, he probably just had to gain 200 pounds to get the Roadhog look. He started off as a 120-pound or 120-pound girl. Now he's 300-pound Roadhog. It's dedication to cosplay.
I mean, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. That being said, we are entering into King's Row. This is G2 versus Reunited. Many people know Reunited as the former Fnatic. So, good times ahead.
Yeah, a lot of really strong players across the board in the ASA. We're just getting introduced, of course, to Numlock's play. Nox has been exceptional. Shadowburn on Genji. But you're going to recognize a lot of familiar names with Reunited GG, even though you may not know who Reunited GG is just yet. If you want to get to know them, actually, I have an interview up on GosuGamers.net. GosuGamers, of course, sponsors their tournaments. Check out their rankings. We're also sponsored by Rocket. Check out all of their gear. And yeah, they're putting up the prize pool for us. $120 to the winning team. That is both today and tomorrow. It's $120 too.
Yep. So there's asking Class 1. Some other many tournaments are experimenting with different rule sets. For us right now, we're deciding to let it roll and see where the meta goes rather than sort of stifling it right off the top bat. Many different opinions on that. But
yeah, one of the only compelling arguments to hero limits is because we saw the D.Va defense a couple times.
Yeah.
But other than that, I kind of like, we don't see a lot of doubling up on heroes anyway. So yeah, let the scene organize itself.
That being said, 3 Hanzos. I think they're trolling, but let's take a look at the team we know isn't trolling here. Reunited, Too Easy, repping the Reaper, Morte on the Zenyatta, Stefan on the Lucio, Winghaven on Reinhardt, Unfixed on Winston, and Valutaha up in the McCree.
Yeah, I don't think they're actually faking this. They're going to scattershot the point with these Hanzos. Going to come all the scatter shots.
Yep.
Actually, yeah, they might, yeah, just trying to scatter.
that was actually straight. They kept on it. Like, okay.
Okay, but on offense, they are running an offensive Widow, and this is not just a gambit. Forsaken's on the Widow on the hotel. Numlock is going to be.
Oh, and he picked off the Zenyatta in short order.
Perfect, man.
Great pick-off.
It's exactly what I was talking about, switching to a Widowmaker to deal with a Zenyatta, even though it's coming from the team that's giving people trouble with their Zenyatta.
Yep. I'm just happy to see some change up. Shadowburn is going to take out Too Easy. A little bit of depth and destruction in the backfield. Both teams sort of trading out here. But that's definitely in Reunited's favor, so long as they hold. They want to stall out G2 as long as possible, so definitely curious to see what goes in here. But G2's making progress, X.
Yeah, it looks like a bit of kind of a roster change. Stefan on the Lucio, and I seem to remember Stefan mostly playing Pharah last season, so they're kind of switching up heroes, I think.
Yep, we see Mikey right now poking with Soldier 76. I'm going to say one thing straight out. Shadowburn is already having more trouble with the Reunited backline than he was having with Eccentric, so I think they were ready for him. And Too Easy just taking out Mikey in very short order, just tapped him in the head. Morte and Winghaven picking up kills, and now G2 has to run for their lives. Too Easy getting a little bit over aggro there, ends up dying for the result.
Yeah, Nox forced him to use his Transcendence in a defensive position just to keep everyone alive, to not stall out this push too long.
Yep, take a look at Volatile right now. Oh, nice pickoff on the Zenyatta. 2 shots and he's down. That's going to take away Genji's lifeline. Speaking of Genji, here he comes. He does whiff the flashbang, but bam! He takes out Shadowburn again. So Volatile very much on point with his McCree aim, and nice play from him.
Yeah, I've been pretty impressed with Unfixed on his Winston so far. He does go down there, but he's just causing all sorts of chaos. Their tanks are being really aggressive, and they're almost sandwiching them too. They're both coming from different sides, and of course that's because of the mobility Winston has on a tank. It's been really impressive, and they're definitely focusing down Nox, knowing that he carried the team in their matches previous to this.
Yeah, and I just want to say, this has been some very on-point play from Volatile. I don't even want to switch off him just yet. But that being said, I think GTO knows who the problem is. They're charging down. We have a counter Reinhardt Earthshatter, though. Winghaven goes in, crunches against the wall, and Too Easy with taking out 3 people. So what a nice collapse coming out from Reunited. And that's a statement, Hex.
Yeah, Morte taking a page out of Nox's book with a clutch Transcendence, keeps everyone alive, and then just the wipe up from Too Easy with his Reaper play, phenomenal, and they're stalling out this point really long.
Yep, and here comes Too Easy. Too Easy is looking for the flank. He comes in from the behind. There is a Zarya ult out getting multiple people from Reunited in it, but they're not really suffering too much from it. Shadowburn is going to take out Too Easy, and might this be the opening that Shadowburn needs. He has to deal with the McCree, though.
Yeah, Shadowburn got in and really cleaned up after that ultimate went down from Zarya. You know, the giant meatball, as we say, all the team clumped together. Shadowburn went in and cleaned it up, and it looks like they're going to be able to take this point finally. Shadowburn getting an aggressive stance to get info on where the team is spawning from, and I don't think that Reunited is going to try to push this back. No, they're falling back to defensive positions. Yeah,
they are falling back just a bit. So, really, that was a nice defense from Reunited for a while. G2 able to finally get together and push it back out, and you know, the Discord Orb, I think, is giving Genji issues. I think they're very willing to just keep the Discord Orb on Genji and really limit his ability to do stuff. So on one hand, he has Harmony. On the other hand, he has Discord. Right. He's sort of embodying all of Zenyatta at the same time.
We're seeing a rare game with no mercies in it, which, if you watch any of the first part of the season, is an absolute rarity. And the Discord Orb is, how do you counter Zenyatta and Genji? Well, you just Zenyatta yourself, and then put the Discord Orb on him, try to equal out that Genji power.
So one thing I really want to point out here is that with them orbing the Genji and having the Winston there, the Winston is a gigantic threat to Genji. Like, Winston goes near him at all, it's going to be bad news. And here comes Winston. Winston helping take out 1, 2, and then Zarya going down in the backfield. So again, this is looking to be almost a full wipe from Reunited, but they might have gone a little bit too far, because Winston, ironically, also getting countered a little bit by Discord Orb himself, and Mikey was able to get good cleanup. Reunited just went a little bit too deep in.
Yeah, both their fraggers able to clean it up really well, and now you're going to see the momentum switch. Shadowburn up with the Orb on him. He's going to be able to this front line and poke, and now they've got a clear path to the cart. It's just got such pressure, such far forward intelligence that the team doesn't even have to worry about anything. They're going to get this cart easily to the point.
They're going to get the cart very easily to the point. And that being said, I mean, thus far, I think that a decent amount of time has been bought. Here comes Shadowburn in the back. It does force out the Transcendence, but he's finding himself on the wrong end of a monkey. He's just going to have to run away. Meanwhile, we'll take a look at Too Easy. Too Easy, Death Blossom almost back up. Could this be the time? Death Blossom's going to go out. We'll take out Lucio, but not much else. And Mikey, though, with a great play. Dead Knight takes out 2 people, and he revolvers down a 3rd. Ban the hammer, let's go.
Yeah, it was really good patience to wait on that Transcendence until the other team's Transcendence expired. It gave them great momentum push, and now they got it to the point, and they're just going to look to push this past point. Shadowburn takes this top ground. This is one of the most important areas of this last push, is this high ground up to the top right here.
Yeah, and honestly, I really feel that you're seeing pretty good time being made from G2 right now. They're about 5 minutes in. This is a good time. This is going to be a hard time to beat if it keeps going well. The Zarya ultimate is out. Multiple people are caught in it from Reunited, but there's no capitalization whatsoever. Only Reinhardt is killed, and Shadowburn dies in the process. I don't know if that trade was worth, but Mikey is on point right now. He is fanning the hammer, gets another 2 kills. Mikey on a rampage, gets a 3rd kill.
Yeah, Zarya's going Ghostbusters and back too to help clean up most of that fight as well. Just some insane.
Finally, Mikey goes down. Here comes Winghaven now, back up for Reunited, but that was a nice section of McCree play coming out from Mikey.
Yeah, most alts are up right now for G2, so I think they're going to try to ride this momentum.
Oh no, the crunching! Winghaven getting crunched by the other Reinhardt, but he is able to survive. And Too Easy picks off 2 people as Genji. He did switch off Reaper to Genji, and here comes Reunited. They're going super in. Earth Shatter is down. That is another 2 kills getting picked up by Reunited, and wow, Hex.
A really interesting switch here. We see a Mei for the first time. Comes out using that slowing ability to really shut down the Genji. One of the better counters to a Genji overall, but doesn't have the utility that a lot of teams covet.
Yep. Take a look at Zenyatta. You know, Zenyatta's sort of the hidden story here is that look at him just keep the orb on Genji. He knows that by putting the orb on Genji, it really deals with the Harmony orb stuff because honestly, he's still squishier with the Discord orb on him than, you know, just base Genji. You'd rather be no. Hang on, we have a Graviton Surge coming up. A lot of Reunited is getting caught in it, but the Transcendence is on point and saves them, Max.
Yeah, Zenyatta's been a star so far in these last couple
Oh,
matches.
Morte, no! He fell off on his own volition! He jumped off, and this could be catastrophic.
Wow. It was a
okay,
great
and Shadowburn,
Shadowburn
also just killed everyone as that happened, so...
Pretty solid time. It was a good defense on first, though, so it's not an unbeatable time.
Yeah. Numlock calling out saying, Morte, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, that was an interesting play. Again, another Zenyatta play of the game.
I hope this isn't at the... Actually, I did hope it was at the end where he was going down. Yeah, Numlock thinking the same thing. Great minds, man. Great minds.
Yeah, this Transcendence was the early linchpin of their defense, and that's when Too Easy was able to clean up everyone because there was no threat of him dying. Just great Zenyatta.
So the time there comes in at 7:23. That time is not impossible to beat, but it's respectable. It's sort of middle of the road.
Yep.
Reunited definitely can do it. I mean, I've seen them have some pretty good Kings Row runs, but both teams look strong, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of all about the momentum in Kings Row. If you can get moving and really keep it moving, you can put up a huge time. Getting stalled out is tough, but we saw kind of like exactly what you said, a middle of the road there. They stalled a little bit here and there, but they didn't keep constant pressure on it. But we can see a really strong defense here or a really strong offense. It's really going to depend on which team gets that early push, I think.
Yeah, it definitely will. So we are moving on to the next stage of this map, and now Fnatic has quite a time on their hands to beat.
I like that Hanzo strat in the beginning, though. I think we've seen it work once or twice in tournaments where you run 6 Hanzos, all scattershot the point, and get an errant pick.
You pray to RNGesus and you let the scatter arrows fall where they may.
I always have liked sniper play on this map. We saw a pretty decent pick early on from the Widowmaker getting that Zenyatta early too. It's a pick that you can roll out and then just switch off of immediately, trying to get a good pick on one of the supports and then switching to maybe a more effective class overall.
Yep. So both teams setting up now. We see now we have G2 on the defensive. They're going to be running the Zarya on defense with Forsaken. Mikey's going to be on McCree. That was so effective on the last stage. Vonathil going to be repping Lucio. G2 Nox on Zenyatta. Numlocked on Reinhardt. And Shadowburn on Genji. And, you know, we focused a lot on Shadowburn, but Nox has been playing really well too, Hex.
Yeah, we're falling out of the Mercy meta. It would have been unthinkable, you know, only a month ago to think we were going to see games without a Mercy on either side. Yet this is exactly what we're seeing. Zenyatta's been so powerful in our game so far today. On offense, we're going to have Reunited GG running Winghaven on Reinhardt. Stefan is gone on Lucio. Valotaja, I've been corrected and I still don't remember, is going to be on McCree. Too Easy is on Tracer. Morte is on Zenyatta. And Unfixed on Winston. So a little bit off. Too Easy on Tracer is interesting.
I'm pretty happy to see Tracer, man. I mean, that's what I'm interested in here. I don't know about you. Let's see what Too Easy does with Tracer, because a lot of teams have not favored running her thus far.
We're going to see double Lucio, actually. They just might go speed burst, try to get out here. We've seen double Lucio on this map before.
Yep, it has been a thing. So 7:20 now left on the clock, and let's see how Reunited goes in against G2.
It's just so fast and so much healing, and look, you get the Winston on the point, you've got double Lucios to support it.
Yep. So Tracer is drawing a little bit of pressure here. He is getting on the Pharah, but he's not going to do it. Forsaken is just like, what are you doing? I got the health. So Too Easy is going to get crunched in short order, and that's going to put a crimp on Reunited's plans to take the point here quickly.
Yeah,
but just as I say that, Valutaha picking off 2 people. Some nice McCree shots coming up from him. And even with the Tracer mess up there. Reunited's going to take the first point very quickly.
It's just a ton of pressure and a ton of healing. One of the problems with Lucio, and a double Lucio at that, is Lucio is really hard to kill. Just really hard to kill. One-on-one, almost any hero is a difficult time taking him out. And you put 2 of them, you get double that healing. It's insane.
Right now, we're taking a look at Volataha. Volataha, I mean, honestly, as McCree impressed me so much on the first map here, and we're going to see what he brings out as it goes forward, and already, I think his play helped them take the first point, so... Reunite is rolling, Hex.
Yeah, they've got that momentum, and I think it's because this double Lucio, they always have one on speed. They're moving so fast, they're hard to kill.
Volataha proving that he is the top cowboy, but he has a ninja in his face. Will he be able to survive? His flashbang is on cooldown. This is not ideal for him at all. And Genji actually eventually going away. And Winghaven picking up 2 kills as Reinhardt. And the tank play from Reunited actually very solid, just pushing up and getting things done.
Yeah, their tanks have been impressive so far from their Winston play as well. Winghaven's always on that Reinhardt, and he always does... he's doing his job because we never really talk.
Too Easy just got a pick off on Mikey. I think he used Pulse Bomb for it, but Mikey is down, and that's a nice pick off, almost Widowmaker-esque if you think about it. That's gonna let Reunited just keep rolling here, and they have so much time right now, Hex.
Yeah, now we get to see the speed boost, the Winston jump, and it's just such an aggressive composition with this double Lucio, and it's really difficult to deal with.
Volataha just held the high noon for so long, it wasn't punished. He's like, it's high noon, and then no one was actually destroyed by the high noon.
So they've got this rolling really well. Shadowburn's down. That McCree pick you mentioned earlier was so huge just because this part of the map is so good for McCree. He can sit back on that long hallway and chip away at damage.
Yeah, and right now, this is not looking good for G2. I mean, Reunited is rolling. Hex, they have over 5 minutes, or sorry, a little bit under 5 minutes to go here. Let's take a look at Too Easy. Too Easy is going in. Will he be able to get another pick off? But no, Volataha picks off 3 people. No Deadeye required.
Yeah, which was strange because the Transcendence was up and I thought it was going to do really good work, but then they just get completely cleaned up, and that is a really
It's right after I switch off Volataha too, of course. So, you know, Caster's cursing the other way, but Reunited rolling. The stick is there. Forsaken is blown up. There will be no tank on top of, and that was dominant.
Yeah, so we were talking about how we're not really banning out heroes and one of each team, and I said, well, it doesn't really happen that often. On occasion, we see double Lucio.
Now let's take a look at Volataha here, man. This was the play that, right after I switched out, he's like, okay, he's not watching. Now I can do the thing. Wow.
Triple high noon kill is amazing. But yeah, that is one of the powers of a double Lucio composition. It never ends. There's so much healing. And Lucio is the hardest support to kill, in my opinion. His self-sustain, his mobility, the way he can switch off speed burst into healing, the pushback from his kit as well. So you have 2 of them, they're healing each other. It becomes brutal.
Hex, we have an update from the other side of the bracket.
Is there an upset?
Melty's gone.
Wow!
They're dead. Okay. They are not going to be joining us in the finals today.
So we're definitely going to have a new winner of the finals, because I think Melty or Not Enigma won the first couple weeks.
No, the last EU winner, I believe, was Hubris, now Envious. But if you take them out of the picture, then I think it was like Melty before that.
Yeah, I think Melty won the first one, and then our NA teams came to play the second week. Regardless, a new champion of our GG Overwatch Weeklies will be crowned today.
Yep, and man, so Volataha, man, just what plays coming out from him?
I mean, most of the players on McCree are just so good at it. Volataha is someone that we spotlighted earlier in the season as well, and just crazy plays from him. The fragging ability is off the charts. But man, that double Lucio supports carry, man. Supports carry so hard.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break. Players on both teams expressing a need to use the bathroom after that game. Perhaps G2 a little bit more so than Reunited after that very dominant performance by Reunited. But stay tuned. We will be right back in just a few moments. This is the GosuGamers Overwatch Weekly, brought to you by Rocket. I'm ZP, joined by Hex. Stay tuned. All right, we are back. This is the GosuGamers Overwatch Weekly EU Cup number 3. Hex, we're joined by Hex's chair for just a moment, but that doesn't matter because we're doing a quick replay review anyways, so let's take a quick look. Balataha, ladies and gentlemen. So what we see here is that if you look at his defensive presence here, not only is he able to just quickly take out the Genji, but just look at what he does in following up here. He backs up from position, knows that people aren't looking, and goes for the Deadeye. People are distracted, Deadeye goes down, 2 more people go down. And then, of course, we did have the play of the game, and look, I know you guys just saw it, but just look at what he does there. Comes in, annihilates the Zarya. Again, a good Deadeye while people are distracted, gets 3 people in the Deadeye. And I think he might have went on to go kill the Winston right after that. So really, some good play coming out from him. That being said, we're going to give Hex a few minutes to get back here. So be back in a few minutes. Alrighty, we are back. This is the GosuGamers Overwatch Weekly EU Cup number 3. I am ZP, joined by Hex, and Hex, we're just getting into the map draft right now.
Yeah, map draft between Reunited and G2. Winner goes on to face IDDQD, I think, is the team who just offed Melty. So,
Yep, Melty was taken out. That is a shock.
They were the best team in Europe at the time. I mean, they were the team to beat in Europe. Now, Reunited gave them a couple good games. They also gave them a couple bad games, as we've talked about. Okay, but let's look at the map draft. Reunited banned Nepal and Lijiang Tower.
So they just, honestly, Hex, they want no part of King of the Hill whatsoever. I think they were pretty vocal of saying, why are we even playing this today? It hasn't been tested, so on and so forth. But you know, the great thing about these weeklies is that this is where we can test these things. And honestly, I thought the King of the Hill maps we had earlier on were pretty fun to watch and observe.
I was happy to watch them, but then G2 responds by banning King's Row. Apparently they've had enough of that.
They are, would you say, Hex, that they're the new eccentric?
Yeah, maybe. Been Dorado as well, so no Dorado yet today, unfortunately.
No Dorado, no Dorado. Do you think we'll ever see a point where teams will go, you know what, we actually do want to bring you the Temple of Anubis?
I think we're going to see some of those strategies when a team decides that they're not exactly beating the best teams on the best teams' home maps. You know what I'm saying? And then they're like, well, let's just really practice Anubis and then make teams play us there.
Well, the interesting thing about the draft format as is right now is that you really can ban out a team's best maps and put them on terrain that they might not be all that comfortable on. You get a lot of map bans, so you can see what they like, what game modes they like, and all the rest. And right now, Anubis and Hanamura is still around and threatening.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing those. I don't have to play them, so I'm more than happy to watch them. What's interesting too is with these map bans, like you mentioned, all this data is out there too. These map bans stay up on the site, so teams can go back and research different games and different matches publicly and see what is getting banned out first. What is the team's preference?
Yeah, exactly. So we do see Hanamura going down. Will Temple of Anubis join it in kind? And on that note, will we end up seeing Gibraltar? I don't because unless I'm just going senile, I don't think we've seen Gibraltar yet today.
We've yet to see Gibraltar.
Oh.
No space shuttles so far.
Okay, Reunited's got to get rid of Temple. They don't like Temple unless something has changed. Okay, yeah, it's Gibraltar. I would have been shocked if we ended up on Temple with Reunited on the last ban.
Great, we have new map. Gibraltar, one of my favorite maps. I think there's a lot of classes that really shine on this map. It's a good sniper map for first point and second point and last point. It's a good sniper map overall. We could see some of the defensive characters shining here too. The Choreborn might be good here. A Bastion is also good on last point as well. It'll be interesting to see what teams bring.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is also one of those maps where, you know, we've seen Widow picked every now and then. We did see Widow early on in King's Row. Got a great pick. Helped G2 take the point, although G2 did, of course, end up going down. But I'm curious to see more situational Widow play. I feel like she's a little bit underused relative to her overall strength. And yeah.
We've seen a couple games where she just goes absolutely crazy. I think I remember a game, it might have been Melty playing, where Crew went offensive Widow and was super aggressive with it, using her kit to its fullest and just getting picks, and they ended up steamrolling with it. Like, Widow was camping their spawn at one point.
You know what hero's been very noticeably missing here, although it's not that surprising? We have yet to see Hanzo play it at all today, but if anyone's listening to the pre-stream, that's not that surprising because Hanzo, even though he's great at sort of slaughtering unorganized pubs, he kind of has issues in these organized games where people run in all at the same time and sort of give you different looks. Shooting people are just coming in, one by one, easy. Shooting people that are rushing with the Lucio and a whole bunch of shields, much harder.
Right, there's just characters in the current competitive meta that do things better than him on both fronts, right? So if you want sustained damage from a distance, you're going to go 76. If you want that ensured guaranteed sniper pick, you're going to go Widow. And he's kind of in that in-between ground where he gets those sniper picks, but not as consistently as Widow, does the damage, but not the output that Soldier 76 does. So he's in a weird spot in relation to the current meta.
Yep, and it's just going to be interesting to see if that changes because it's one of those things where Hanzo, I think, is one of the more infamous characters of Overwatch. People talk about him on pubs. He certainly played a lot on personal streams by all sorts of different streamers. But you look at him in comp play, and it's all the real focus is on his brother Genji.
Yeah, for the most part. I don't know exactly where you'd fit Hanzo in a composition now. It's like, well, what hero do you take out to put a Hanzo in? Does he have a map that he's specifically really good on? I think maybe Maybe Anubis. I'm not entirely sure, but where his ultimate can really shine might be the map that we find him on next.
It's very, very possible. So, with sec, we have people doing their last moment bio breaks. Actually, I think it's kind of weird because we did the bio breaks immediately after the last game, and you know what? You get in these tense games, and things just go.
Nerves start going. You start tightening up, and you got to get it out.
Yep. But honestly, Reunited looks so strong in the last map. I think G2 might have their work cut out for them. I wasn't expecting Reunited to look that good, but they were dominant on Kings, bro.
Yeah, like I said, I have a feeling that Reunited has taken their focus, their practice, and their gameplay to another level. They're really committed to it, and I think a lot of that is getting out of the shadow of being Fnatic and being kind of disappointing those first couple weeks, but then starting to play really well, and then in conjunction with them playing well, they also rebranded under their own thing. They're playing for themselves and their own brand and pride, and I think that's all coming to a front here.
Yep. Okay, they're asking for ready. Reunited is ready. We are ready. We're about to go into Watch Point Gibraltar. Or so we think. And for those who are just tuning in, this is the first Watch Point Gibraltar map of the day, so we might see some new looks at the meta that we have yet to see.
Wow, IDDQD 2-0'd Melty too.
That's insane. They made a statement at Melty's expense. It wasn't just normal, a 1-1, best of 3 hard-fought battle. They really took it to Melty.
That's going to be a VOD you have to watch. You can always watch these VODs on GosuGamers.net. Go to our tournament page. It links you to everything really easily. I browse it while I'm casting these things, teams playing against each other, etc. Your videos out there.
And on that note, huge shouts to both Shane Gucher and Ask Joshy for really helping out and casting the other side of the bracket, letting people observing this event today get both games. I believe the Twitters respectively at Shane Gucher Gaming and at Ask Joshy. Joshy also will be back tomorrow to help cast the NA Cups opposite side of the bracket of me and Hex, so definitely stay tuned for that. Big shout out to all the people that make this happen, including, of course, all the GosuGamers support staff, our sponsors, Rocket, and so much more.
Yeah, a lot of people behind the scenes making this happen. We just happen to be the ones who get to talk about it. Lucky enough to talk about Overwatch, really.
Indeed. So, both teams setting up here, and it is going to be G2 on defense to begin with. So for you guys to know, Reunite actually prefers to be on attack first. This was their choice.
Yeah, they like to set the bar high. They like to try to put the, set the clock so they know how much they have to defend it by. Teams have their different preferences on offense or defense, but that's definitely what they've chosen for the most part. Now, it looks like G2 is going to be pretty set here on offense. So Shadowburn is going to be running a Pharah, which is going to be closer to his TF2 soldier roots, perhaps. Mikey on Reaper. Numlocked is going to be on Reinhardt. Nox off Zenyatta onto Mercy.
I wonder if they're switching up the Genji because of how Reunite dealt with it. Reunite was doing a lot better deal with the Genji with really solid McCree play. Maybe they're just saying, you know what, we're going to shelve the Genji for now. We're going to bring out the Pharah instead because Genji just didn't work.
Yeah, and once you go ahead and do the other side, we have double Lucio.
Yep. So right now, looking at here, Shadowburn is on the Pharah, Mikey on the Reaper, Numlocked on Reinhardt, Nox repping the Mercy, so no Zenyatta this time, Forsaken on Roadhog, and Vonethel on the Lucio. So seeing them defending really far back here, Hex.
Yeah, they're going with the aggressive double Lucio again. We've got both Stefan and Morte running Lucio as they did to great effect on King's Row. Valutaya is going to be on McCree. Too Easy on Tracer, an unconventional pick, and then Unfixed is going to be on Winston.
Yeah, and we saw there, you saw Reaper go for the Winston, but Reunite was able to just really collapse on him and take him out quickly, and that's a big blow to the defensive power of G2, and Reunited is just rolling. There's absolutely no pressure on the payload, and G2 is just getting pushed back here, Hex.
I love that split. You put Winston up top, Unfixed on the Winston, he cleared the top, and everyone pushes the cart below, then you've got that sustained pressure from him up top. It was a great split and a great way to get through that arch, which can be a hard point on this map.
And I just want to note the greatness of the double Lucio. I mean, they are dropping beats, and Morte with the stylish just punch in the mouth to Pharah there. Just, G2 has to find something to do to reestablish themselves, because if they don't soon, they're going to be going through the hanger phase really, really quickly.
Oh, great Tracer ultimate takes out Vonethil.
Yep, and right now we're watching the Morte's point of view, trying to drop the Tracer, but he's sort of stuck on the shuttle. But look at how far up they're pushing, Hex. Winghaven is so far up, he's almost, you know, at the checkpoint itself, where the payload is just way far back.
Yeah, it's hard to get in here on defense. There's only these 2 small points, and if you can get eyes on it and you can start putting pressure through it, then you would just have a free push on the cart.
Yep, and look at Too Easy laying down the Tracer DPS. He's going to have his Pulse Bomb up sooner rather than later, and Sound Barrier is going down for both teams. Both teams very much shielded, both throwing both their ults, and what a crunching Numlocked taking out the problem in Volutaha. Even though Too Easy comes with the backup there, this might be what G2 needs in setting up defense. Pulse Bomb is going to miss. 5 people still up for G2, and I think REUNITED might have to regroup a bit here, Hex.
Yeah, it looks like they finally were able to hold. It's just... The double Lucio really capitalizes on the momentum drive of the game that is Overwatch. Once you start rolling, it's really hard for a team to reestablish, get their 6 people together and in good position to fight. And when you've got those speed bursts and everyone's topped off on health, it's really difficult to do. That's why we've seen double Lucio be so effective. However, one of the Lucios is now an offensive Widowmaker.
All right, we got the switch up. So, actually, wait, is it one of the Lucios? No, Too Easy was Tracer. He switched off Widow, but the other Lucio went to Zenyatta.
Okay, my bad.
Okay, so we do get the switch ups. Although Shadowburn not having any of the sniping just crunches Too Easy with a rocket to the dome. So goodbye Too Easy for now.
Yeah, some more switches up come too as Unfixed gets off of Winston onto 76. They clearly want to try to deal with the combo, which is hang out on top of the space shuttle. Now you do that with a Widowmaker, or in this case, the 76 is going to try his best too.
Yeah, and honestly, Pharah has been putting a lot of pressure here. That's probably why they switched to the Widowmaker, but the Widow has already gone to a Genji, so Too Easy can try his luck as everyone's favorite ninja to sort of deal with this pressure from Shadowburn. And Shadowburn is just laying down all sorts of good pressure. But we do see REUNITED starting to put up a decent front here. They're pushing G2 back.
The Shadowburn on Pharah might not be a reactive pick based on the ill success they had with Genji earlier, but just because Pharah is so good on this map, this section in particular, holding the high ground, holding the shuttle.
Yep. And we see here, we might have a barrage coming up. Barrage does come down. That is a triple kill for Shadowburn. Drops the Justice all over REUNITED. What a play, man.
That was brutal. A great barrage, and they're going to have to completely reset this offense.
Yeah, and you're looking at this now, and I gotta say, Shadowburn has really just established dominance of the game. I don't even want to switch off anyone else because he is the game right now. This is what is deciding everything at the moment, and really, it's up to REUNITED to find a solution to deal with this. I think Morte's gonna throw a Discord Orb on him very soon. Here comes Too Easy. Too Easy does not want to deal with this, but he gets knocked back by the Concussion Blast. We have a Genji ult coming out. Let's take a look at Too Easy. He is slicing and dicing. Lucio goes down. That's 1 kill. Can he pick up another? Deflect is up, and no, he is gonna run away for now. Hammer down coming out from Reinhardt. Seeing Reinhardt swinging the hammer, dropping the shield, fire strike out. But this is looking good for REUNITED, man.
Yeah, they were switching a lot of heroes, trying to figure out what they could do to deal with that combo up top. Eventually, it was just going Genji, and even though Genji didn't get the kills immediately on him, he put enough pressure on him that the combo couldn't go. Huge.
Oh, here comes G2 Mikey! Death Blossom out of nowhere! And it doesn't quite give him the effect that he wants. It was just like, it looks scary, but that was actually 4 people on G2 getting crunched. So, A for effort, Mikey, but not work out.
No, it doesn't really stall them. They're through this point right now. If they can get around the bend here, that'd be great for them. You can get stalled out pretty easily on offense in this big door, but it looks like they're going to have enough momentum to push at least into a more open area.
You're taking a look at Unfixed right now. Unfixed, using 76 poke to good advantage, poking from way across the map. And you're seeing this more and more with Soldiers, where people are just realizing, hey, Soldier has quite a bit of range. Sound Barrier is going to go up. REUNITED is going to push with this. And again, lots of pressure coming down from that. It is high noon. Does Volutaha have any win? No. The Deadeye does not connect, but REUNITED is still pushing forward anyways, Hex.
Yeah, we got soldier battles going up in the air, but this card has not stopped moving for quite a while. Mikey went down on the opposing team way too far out of position on the 76, and now we have ults coming off on both sides.
Yeah, G2 using their Sound Barrier to push in. Transcendent's going to try and mitigate this a little bit, but McCree will be able to take out the Roadhog. But both teams sort of collapsing onto each other. Deaths on both sides, but REUNITED is getting the better of this.
Yeah, G2's going to have to kind of scrap it out here for the next little bit. Luckily, Soldier 76 is his own sustain, because one of the heals went down, one of the tanks went down as well.
Justice rained from above, but he had to use it only to kill Volutaha, and I think that just shows how much of a threat that they see Volutaha as right now.
Yeah, it's not the greatest value, though, to use a Rocket Rush on one player.
Yeah, I mean, the way ultimates are now, they don't charge quite as quickly as they used to. Pharah won't be dropping Justice for probably another minute or so, if not more. And this is a long time for G2 to actually hold here.
Yeah, see, this is the part of the map where I thought they were going to get through and not get stalled, because it gets so tough to push through this door. It's just really easy to get spammed out of. There's not a great flank, especially if you have someone watching this high ground over here.
Oh, nice pick up by Shadowburn onto the Pharah. Shadowburn is back onto his favorite. He's on the Genji, dropping the harass, but has to be careful. He is Discord orbed, I believe, so he's got healing, he's got bonus damage. He's getting both sides of Zenyatta as we speak.
Yeah, this defense has really solidified itself in the last minute or so. They're taking the ground. They're really watching their flank. Shadowburn's back on his Genji, and he's looking to create havoc back there, but it's been an impressive hold so far.
Yeah, and there's a lot of ults up for G2 right now. They can use that to really make space. Stefan's gonna kill, basically both teams sort of trading out here. G2 looking like they're coming ahead. 3 down for both sides. Just an outright brawl on top of the payload. And Reunited is coming out a bit on head. Transcendence comes out late. And now, they're going to try and push this in. I don't think they're going to be able to do it, though.
No, they got some time on the cart at least, because the Lucio's able to just sustain himself on the cart and get a little bit of push there. And now they've reestablished a front, which is around the corner, and that's hugely important. Transcendence comes off.
The Dragon Blade is out for Shadowburn here, but he's going to die to Winston. Winston is really putting a crimp in his plans, and here comes Fnatic. They are pushing this over, and just like that, they are going to take the first map with a respectable time of 7 minutes, 50 seconds, or thereabouts.
Yeah, it's a really good push at the end there from Reunited GG. They put the Transcendence, had some patience on the other ultimates, and then just kept them inside the spawn doors. More Zenyatta plays of the game.
More Zenyatta plays of the game.
It's just so much damage.
I'm most surprised that got play of the game over the really nice barrage we saw earlier, but that's why we got replays. This new feature of the GosuGamer Weekly Cast is that should we catch it, we can bring you some of the replays in breaks and in between, and we definitely have one of those highlights for you when we get to the next map.
This was 754 on Gibraltar. Good. It's pretty good.
Yep. Pretty good. So, but it's a beatable time. Like, G2 can definitely come back and beat this time.
After the first point, which is kind of a trend we see on this map as well, the first point can often get taken pretty quickly, almost to the extent that defenses won't sell out real hard trying to get it or trying to stop it, knowing that they're going to really take the fight in the hangar area. So defenses aren't really trying, like, they want to slow you down, but they're not going to sell out to stop you on first point a lot of the times. And that's what we saw, that first point went very quickly, and then it kind of stalled out in the hangar, stalled out a little bit towards the end there as well.
Yep, definitely happened going into this. So now we're gonna see G2's attempt at defense, and it'll be interesting. Or sorry, G2's attempt at attack. Got myself mixed up. But Widow, we could see an offensive Widow X.
I think it's very possible. I love running a Widow on offense just early on. If the defending team gets a little too cheeky and a little too far ahead, you get a free pick and then you can switch off or stay on the Widow and just kind of ride that momentum. It changes the fight immediately with one click of a button.
It very much does. Now, taking a look at the defense coming out for Reunited, they're going to run Morte on the Zenyatta again, Unfixed on Winston, Winghaven on Reinhardt, Stefan on Lucio, Too Easy on Reaper, and Volta on the McCree. And let me just say this, I think the Winston is a great pick, especially with G2's love of Genji. Winston is probably the best tank at dealing with him, because anytime a Genji goes near Winston, even if he's doing decent damage to Winston, he's going to eat a penalty for it. And you combine with the fact that a Discord Orb will be on him, and it's making life a lot harder for Shadowburn. He's not able to do the things that he was able to do against Eccentric.
Yeah, the health pool is great. He can't reflect Winston's weapon because it's a channeled weapon. Winston's got the great mobility. His ultimate also helps deal with a Genji too, and he just goes ape. So it's a really solid pick. We've been seeing a lot more Winston today than we did in our first few tournaments. On offense, though, Shadowburn is going to be on Genji. Forsaken, it looks like it's going to run that offensive Widow. Vonathil is going to be on Lucio. Numlocked on Reinhardt. Mike on 76. And Nox on Zenyatta.
Yep, and the timer has been started 7 minutes and 50 seconds ago. Can Reunited do it, and can they close it out 2-0?
Forsaken with a quick pick on Morte takes out the Zenyatta. That's going to be a huge early pick. Nice offensive Widow early on paying off.
Yeah, taking out Morte is really going to put a crimp in the defensive plans of Reunited, but here comes Volta, rushes down G2 Mikey and takes him out with extreme prejudice, but he's going to get sniped as well, so Forsaken putting the offensive Widow with a very good use here, taking out two of Reunited's most important players.
Yeah, too easy sneaking in with a Reaper, though, behind the back line. He's got a really good beat on Nox here.
Yep. Too Easy is going to take out Nox, in fact, getting rid of the Zenyatta, and oh no, Widow has a monkey on her. This is one of the things that has killed Widow since the beginning of time, and down she goes.
Yeah, good defense there. It starts with the pick onto the offensive Zenyatta, and that really just kind of cripples the team, and that's now they're able to set up their defense.
And taking a look again, we do have the Dragon Blade is out, and here it comes. We're going to see Shadowburn try and get some value. He is going to have to deflect, and no! Winston just shuts it down, punches him in the mouth, and 3 people are down for G2, so that was definitely not what G2 was planning there.
Yeah, so I mentioned how easy this first point is to take and how defenses barely defend it, and I'm just exactly wrong, aren't I?
You know what? It's a caster's curse. Caster's curse it both ways. Sometimes you call it, and sometimes the game just likes to make you dead wrong. Taking only Too Easy. Too Easy is setting up a very nice position as Reaper here. He can drop down and get value, and that's exactly what he's going to do. He has the Zenyatta in his sights. Nox, you are getting knocked around by this Reaper, and he's going to just Wraith Walk away from the Roadhog. Nice play by Too Easy. Good positioning. And he's going to get taken out by the Roadhog, but he got his prize, Hex.
Yeah, Transcendence and a Sound Barrier come down too, and they just bowl through it. Now, the offense is very split up here. Roadhog's in a bad spot, still looking for picks. I would like to see them start putting some people up top rather than just everyone going through this tunnel. You kind of need to split their defensive efforts.
Yep, and right now you see the Discord Orb is on the Roadhog, and I guarantee you, as soon as he sees a Genji, it's going back on him. There it is, Shadowburn. It does eat the Discord Orb, and now his effectiveness is very much reduced. Too Easy gets a pick off on 76. This is a power play for Reunited. It's going to be great if they can get the, the hook from Roadhog, shutting down Morte.
So they are trying to come through the top now, which I think is the smart move. They're going to also try to come through, clear this room, and help out Shadowburn. He can't do it all himself. Now he's finally got his team supporting him. They look like take down this Reinhardt, which they do. Now they've got a good flank going on. They can try to deal with Unfixed. He gets cleaned up, and it looks like they're going to push it through this arch.
Yeah, and Fix spotted quite a bit of time there on top of that point just delaying. And remember, Reunited has already set a pretty decent time. They've bought a lot of buffer room here. G2 only has 5 minutes to get this payload a very, very long way.
Yeah, it was a very good hold on first point, and it looks like they're still going to hold this aggressive defense. Shadowburn trying to come in, and Balutaja does take him down. Unfixed tries to come in and clean up with Shadowburn now, but his mobility is going to allow him to escape.
And Shadowburn, he is holding on to the Dragon Blade. I'd expect to see it come out very soon. Slices down the Lucio, and multiple people are down for Reunited here, and really... this is where Reunited has to stabilize. You don't want to give up the hangar area for free. It's a very good defensive place. You want to make it a hard slog for the other team, so they need to come out, stabilize, and just slow down G2 a little bit more.
Yeah, Shadowburn was up front, getting eyes on the team to see where they were going to try to posture defensively. The only thing really slowing down G2 right now is the card itself.
We're taking on Shadowburn. The Dragon Blade is going to come out here, Hex. Here it is! The Dragon Blade is out. Lucio's in his sights, but Lucio's gone away, and Winston forcing him out, and he's just taken out. He's not getting value off that.
Yeah, but a really nice whole hog comes down. The tanks do come in towards the end and try to support that Shadowburn push. Not the kills coming through, though, that they'd like.
Yeah, not at all. We do have the Reinhardt duel. Winghaven coming out on top, and... yeah, so I think one big difference we're seeing here between Reunited and Eccentric is that Reunited, with the combination of the Winston Zenyatta, is really not letting Genji have his way with the game.
Yeah, I mean, they know that if that's the focus point of your composition of your team, which it ends up having to be because you have to dedicate 2 heroes to it, then if they can shut that down, everyone else can have a much harder time. And they've had a really solid defense here so far, and the longer they slow this cart down, it's almost going to be GG.
Yep. All right, and we're taking a look at Mikey. He had things in his sights until Volutaha had him in his instead. A revolver to the head shuts him down. And again, some very shutdown defense coming out from ex-fnatic or Reunited here. One of these days, I'm gonna stop that.
You're getting there.
Volutaha with the quick takedown on. I'm not sure how Zenyatta ended that far deep in enemy territory, but Volutaha putting a very quick end to that.
Yeah, they feel very good about this aggressive kind of defense they're playing, so much so that they've switched to a tracer.
A defensive tracer, yeah, I was about to say. Look at this, we got Too Easy here. He almost has Pulse Bomb. Oh, he has a Genji in his back, though. This is not what he wants. That is not a fight Tracer wants to take. At least not until the Discord Orb is up. And cool thing here, Tracer does have the Pulse Bomb up. She is going for the stick. She throws it out. Not getting the value she wants, but, you know, she builds Pulse Bomb up fast, so might as well take the shots you can get.
Posturing very aggressively on this defense here, and that seems to be the way they want to go about this map. Time is ticking, though.
Time is definitely ticking. You see Tracer on top, and she's just gonna bide her time, and there's the Genji, and Genji goes down the Volatile, so again, Genji sort of meeting his match in Volatile. Oh, look at the multi-blink getting in on the Zenyatta, not able to pick him off, but does force the Transcendence out. That is a win for Too Easy.
Yeah, that's not the position you want to be using Transcendences in there defensively and for disengage. They don't even get the disengage, and Earthshatter comes down.
Wait, the Earthshatter came down, both of them. I think that was a double Earthshatter from both teams. Everyone was knocked down.
Getting cleaned up, Dragon Blade comes out. He's kind of in desperation mode, just trying to get anyone he can on the cart. Stefan does go down to the Dragon Blade.
Yes, he's able to pick up Stefan. Might get... Oh, Morte punches him in the mouth! So down goes Genji. Fist of Lucio beats Sword, apparently, and really the true story of this that's going on is that G2 only has a minute 40 left, Hex.
They're going to have to get on the cart and never let it stop moving. They are in the cart now. Good. And it looks though Reunited has taken a little more of a passive stance here. They're going to try to fight under this archway.
But here we go. They're breaking it down. Again, you see Reunited very content to go forward. Morte winning the Lucio v Lucio duel. Some nice Lucio play coming out from him. Nice shots onto the Mercy. And Nox is in all sorts of trouble, going to go down to Stiff Breeze at this point. Does go down to the Tracer, and they are mopping up the remnants of the G2 team, and I think G2 might be out of ideas here.
Yeah, Shadowburn went on to Pharah, and I think one of the things about G2 that I've noticed is that they switch heroes a lot, and that could be good in some cases, but it seems like right now they're searching for answers that they can't find.
Yep. Too Easy really deep in the territory. I think, honestly, at this point, Fnatic's very content to just dive their spawn because they just need to throw crap at them to delay them. They don't have to hold for very long. It's 48 seconds. It might not even be mathematically winnable now for G2.
Yeah, they're calling GG.
Oh, Too Easy calling GG ahead of time. Technically, there's still time, but...
The offensive GG.
Still offensive. And, you know, G2 is saying they know that they still have a little bit of time, so they're staying in. G2 might be a little bit salty over that early GG call, but it's not looking good for G2. Next.
Like we mentioned, they're a bit of a younger team, and I think some of that is, like, they switched up heroes a lot. They weren't really dedicated in what they were going for. I think Shadowburn switched 3 different heroes in the course of about 2 minutes there. They just never really felt comfortable in their composition.
All right, and neutral GGs are out. And Reunited takes it in a very, I think, dominant 2-0 over G2. So G2 looked really good against Eccentric, but just like that, Reunited looked really good against G2.
Yeah, Reunited's looking for that top spot. They want to be the best team in Europe, and they've got a really good chance to do it. They were close to unseating Melty in our first couple tournaments. They gave them some decent games. They want to be the best team in Europe, and that performance shows that they're capable of it.
Absolutely. So... honestly, not the flashiest of games in general. Just very good, solid play from both teams. No uber gigantic team wipe, but you just saw good use of ultimates and really just disciplined play coming out from Reunited in that game.
Yeah,
in the set, really.
They were better just almost on every level. Mechanically, it felt like they were hitting their stuff a little better. Composition-wise, they were more, you know, committed to their compositions. They weren't switching as often, and they just overall look like the team that's been playing together a little bit longer, which I think they have been.
All right, so we didn't get play of the game, but this is, I believe, from the first stage of that map. Let's just take a look at this. This is a great fair play coming out and going to the replay. Just because I feel like we got robbed of some sort of great play of the game. As you can see, this was viewing a Shadowburn. Shadowburn had a great showing in the hangar. Unfortunately, they didn't, you know, draw out enough time, but take a look at this. Shadowburn coming in with Farah, just mopping stuff up. And I'm just going to say, shout out to Shadowburn today, man. He was playing so solid all day. Even though G2 wasn't able to take it and Reunited kind of squashed them in the end, I think Shadowburn, he was playing great today.
G2 made a name for themselves today. They're definitely someone to watch in upcoming tournaments. We've seen the individual skill of their players. Nox just kind of had just one of the better Zenyatta days I've ever seen out of a player. It's nice to see Zenyatta re-entering the meta in a kind of a different way and seeing his transcendence being used in a more powerful capacity. So yeah, G2 definitely made a name for themselves. They're definitely someone to watch as our tournaments go forward.
Yep, so we're going to be taking a quick break, and we'll be back with you with the finals of the GosuGamers Overwatch Weekly. I'm ZP, joined by Hexagrams, and we'll be back with you in just a few moments. Stay tuned.